My idea of what a man was at the time was a man used women, abused women, disrespected women. A man carried a gun, a man used a gun. A man basically did whatever he wanted to do to get whatever he wanted.
Anthony Acevedo grew up on the streets of Chicago, one of the most gang-infested cities in America.
My brother at the age of 13 got into the gang, into the drugs, the alcohol, and so that attracted me, and that's something that I started to pursue myself.
His parents divorced when he was young, and his mother moved the family to a rough suburb. The notorious Latin Kings gang soon became his new family.
They just gave me the attention that I guess as a young kid that I was looking for that I didn't receive at my house. They provided a security for me. They provided an identity. This is a cause that they gave me that's worth living for, even worth dying for.
Anthony started using and selling drugs, carrying weapons, and breaking into homes. He also became violent and wanted to enhance his street cred by becoming known as a killer. He found his target when a childhood acquaintance joined a rival gang. The two quickly became enemies. One night, Anthony tracked him down.
One day my cousin was like, hey, you know, I live in a neighborhood where this guy lives. Why don't we go over here? Why don't we take care of him? I'm like, hey, you know, that's a very good idea. He actually came out and walked through the middle of the park, and he met me right where I was at. I had a hoodie on, I had a gun in my pocket, and as he started to walk up to me, he began to talk crazy to me, cursing at me, and I didn't say nothing. I was just standing there smiling. Right before he got about 2, 3 in front of me, I just pulled out the gun, and I put it as close as I can to him, and I just fired off.
The first bullet didn't kill him, and the man ran off. Anthony chased him down until his victim found his way to a police station. Anthony shot 2 more times and left him for dead.
At that time, I actually did think that I took his life. I went up to my 3rd floor of my cousin's apartment, and from the window we can see the whole crime scene. We can see the police, we can see everything, and you know, we're saluting one another in the gang, and we're just like, yeah, we did it. You know, I killed this guy. There's gonna be more to come. Like, I was just feeding off the feeling that I felt of trying to take someone's life.
His euphoria was short-lived. Within hours, he was arrested, and he learned his victim was still alive.
I want him to die, so I don't want him to testify against me. I want to look like that I am a killer, but then I don't want him to die because then I had to do all this time.
Anthony was charged with attempted murder and sentenced to 11 years. In prison, he continued to sell drugs and lead a violent lifestyle. Then he got a new cellmate who was a Christian.
He used to be in the gang, and he used to try to talk to me about God, and I'm like, that Jesus stuff just doesn't work for me. Like, I love this lifestyle. I'm a sinner. I love sin. I'm a Latin king. I love this life.
Still, his roommate persisted. One day, he gave Anthony a Bible to read.
So I grabbed the Bible, and I was going to throw it in the corner of my cell, which is where I threw my garbage. The Bible was like glued to my hand. Like, it didn't fall out.
That was the first of several incidents he couldn't explain that made him think God might be at work in his life. But he remained skeptical.
I grabbed the Bible and was just like, you know what? I'm like, I'm gonna take this thing and I'm gonna read it. I'm not gonna read it to change my life. I'm gonna read it to criticize and condemn all these hypocritical Christians and Catholics and whatever else you wanna call yourself.
But things did not go exactly as Anthony had planned.
So for 3 years, I read the Bible. Every day, all day, from Genesis to Revelation, I just read it. Non-stop, 10, 15 hours, all I did was read the Bible.
Anthony says God continued his relentless pursuit for his heart while he was in prison.
Every cellmate that I had from that point forward were all ex-gang members turned Christians. God was working through these 5 individuals to show me the truths of God, to show me how real God is, despite the realities of the prison life.
Still, Anthony continued his drug use and gang activity. Then one day, he attended a prison chapel service.
Then this guy comes in and he's like, you know, he comes as a guest speaker and he said, you know, I come in to tell you guys one message for one group of people. God's telling me to tell you guys to stop it, to knock it off, quit playing games with God, and quit playing games with the devil. Either serve God faithfully, get out the gang, get out the drugs and follow God with your life, or forget God, forget the Bible and follow the devil and serve the devil 100%. But you can't do both. So as I'm hearing this message, I'm in the back of the chapel service, my heart's getting pricked. I'm kind of like, he's talking about me.
Afterward, Anthony returned to his cell.
I go back to my prison cell. I heard a voice speak to me, and it was as audible as you could hear my voice now, but it was in the depths of my heart where I heard it. And I heard a voice say this. He called me by my name and he said, Anthony. He said, today's the day that you're no longer gonna be a Latin king. Today's the day you're gonna be my son, you're gonna be my child. That lifestyle's over with.
At first, he thought he was going crazy.
I looked up and I was like, what the was that? I cursed. And the only rationale that I had was, it must have been my cellmate speaking to me. I'm like, what did you just say to me? He's like, what? I'm like, you just spoke to me. I heard you speak to me. What did you just tell me? He's like, what do you mean? I don't understand. He's like, I've been watching TV the whole time with my headphones on. I'm like, well, why would he speak to me? Wouldn't he speak to the nice church people, the nice goody two-shoes, the saints and all those nice people, the baptized ones? I'm like, I'm the worst of sinners. Why would he want to talk to me? And again, I heard that same voice speak to me, and it reiterated the same word. It said, Anthony, you are my son. It is over with. You're going to be my child. You're no longer Latin King. You're my servant.
For the first time in his life, Anthony prayed and surrendered his life to Christ. The next day, he told the Latin Kings he was leaving the gang.
I told them, well, this means that I'm taking off my crown and I'm giving it to you guys. I don't want it anymore. I'm picking up my cross and following Jesus. And I looked at them and I got up and I said, whatever you guys want to do to me, I'm right here. Go ahead and do it. And they looked at me like, we can't, man, we can. They're like, with us, we'll give you a blessing.
For the rest of his sentence, he committed his time to follow God and grow in his faith. He served 11 years in prison and was released in 2011. He met and married Jessica and is now enrolled in Bible college at Moody Bible Institute. Today, he has a whole new definition of manhood.
My definition of a man is one who can truly humble himself before Almighty God. A man that can deny himself daily to take up his cross and follow Jesus Christ.
Anthony also shares the love of God with the homeless and gang members in Chicago.
I have an immense heart for gang members or drug dealers or inmates, convicts. God can reach them the same way he reached me. God can love on them and God can forgive them and God could reestablish them and make them new creations in him. My heart is to be a vessel in God's hand to impact this lost and hurting world for his cause and his name's sake.